Another apology, this is all about me and my company. That's what I was told to talk about. And thirdly, I have no idea about IT. I'm not an IT boffin. We've heard from them. It actually scares me. I'm here to talk about where the rubber hits the road. It's putting it into action and it's changing your business to actually add value. And this is my experience at my company. So a little bit about the company, DWP, Design Worldwide Partnership. We do architecture, interior design, branding and so on. 13 countries, about 400 people now, started here in Bangkok. So we have quite a few smaller offices, which provide some challenges. Okay, we actually haven't heard a definition today. We heard from the boffins, and nobody actually told us what it's all about. So this is from Forbes, I think it was. Transformation is the process of using digital technologies to create new business processes, culture, and customer experience. We heard about the customer experience a lot, but not about the former, to meet changing businesses and market requirements. So that's relevant to whether you are a company of 2 people, 20 people, 200, 2,000, 20,000. It matters for everybody. Why is it important? Expectations, we talked about customer and client expectations, employee expectations as well, the way they work and how they see your company or the company they work in. And of course, then there's the business side, my side, about efficiencies and processes and interconnectivity. And in my company, that last one was a big issue, which we'll see later. Just on the why is it important, some of the figures that came out, 8% increase in profit, 5-fold increase in turnover, 70% found it easier to employ people if they had moved along this platform to complete digital transformation. So we did this for our company. We were sort of stuck in the past, architecture, interior design. We deal with large projects, master planning, building cities as it were. Quite difficult. If you think back in the old days, we had paper and pens 20 years ago, or pencils. And then we moved on to 2D, and now we're on to 3D. Now we're onto the cloud, as we'll show. I'm moving this forward for everybody's sake. So here we are. Look, there are some drivers that we had, and it depends on your business what your driver will be. You know, people were talking about the experience from the customer, but on our side, one was that there was a change in the technology that we could adopt and use. So that was the first thing. The second thing was it the customer, the client, or our employees that were forcing our change? Okay. On that, we made a decision to move forward and try and change the way that we interact with our customers. We moved from a standard industry competitor, we were just like everybody else. We had very limited operational integration. When you were designing a building, we couldn't really design it together as one company. Bangkok would design, Melbourne would design. Our hardware, we had 96 servers. You remember those racks? All I see, again, I don't understand it, all I see is money, when budget time comes around. We had very poor connectivity across our countries, and at that stage we had 12 people in our employ for the IT team. Now today, so about 1.5 years it took us. I'd consider us to be a sector leader. Certainly there are many companies that now look to us as the market leader in this area. We have full operational integration. We can work on a building design here in Thailand, have somebody in UAE and in Melbourne or in Sydney working on it at the same time, in the same model, in the cloud. So the way we work changed completely. And that raised a whole lot of other issues. Who owns the model? Who's in charge? What sort of responsibility? Again, the business side of this implementation. We can talk about the technologies, but what's the impact on your business? Our HR, finance, marketing, sales, I can rattle off all of the platforms that we've placed in because we've now gone fully on the cloud. So our HubSpot, our way that we price things, our employment, our approval, in fact, everything is on my mobile. Every single app. There is nothing that I can't do on my mobile. I do not need to be in an office. In any of our offices, I can pull up any document at any time on any project anywhere in the world. So we have a real live mobile single source of truth. And we always push that. You know, people want to create a new form or a new way of doing it. No, go back to our system and put it in the system. You're not different, you're not special. And guess what? They don't really do it differently in different parts of the world. Everybody thinks they're different. They're not. Not when it comes to this. Importantly and lastly, because I'm going to move quick, the main thing that we've done is that we've created a new revenue stream. So here we are, an architecture company, interior design company, but actually we're now providing consultancy services because our clients have seen real value in the way that we do our business. So we've been asked to come in now twice, and we actually are promoting this more vigorously, to come in and help with, you might want to call it in my vernacular, in my day, in my 50s, change management, implementation. And I'll call in the boffins to explain what blockchain means and cloud means and all this other stuff, but then we'll come in and help you implement through that process. So if we look at where we work, offices, we do a lot of office design. They'll come to our office, they'll see how we've then driven that change, ask us to come in to try and implement. In fact, I'll take it one step further. We had an offer from a large developer to buy us, not because he wanted our design, but he wanted us to implement the change management because they had implemented or tried to implement digital transformation and it got stuck. And I remember he pointed to myself and my business partner, he said, I don't actually want the company, I just want you. You know, really? We're design. But that's the foible about this whole discussion. You can have all the information, but you then need to get a business impact out of it. And that's driven by the managers. And guess what? We don't understand IT. And we don't want to understand it. I'm sorry, we just simply don't. We're past it. That's your job, but put it into a vernacular that we can understand and we can drive through our businesses to have a real impact for our customers. The issue that we have with this whole digital transformation. We get blasted and blasted, but how do you implement? And that's been, for us, one of our key success factors and something that our customers value. So we're on the G Suite, wireless digital office. In this change, the way you work changes as well. So it's not just the IT side of things, but the actual culture of the company. And it's the little things that we used to have in the past. Remember the old clean desk policy? Implement it. Give them a locker, give them a small toolbox and say everything goes in that because you don't need it anymore. Get online. And it works. People now begin the day and end the day. And so when they come in, it's fresh. They start again. It's fantastic. For an old company that's used to paper and having stuff everywhere, you know, when we're designing, they like to throw cushions and stuff. All gone. But the culture of our company is far more dynamic, far more engaging, far more collaborative. We don't see ourselves as Thailand focused. We now see ourselves as international. We're operating across boundaries all in one. I mean, it really is quite a mindset and cultural change that's been fantastic. Other stuff, eco office, VR, Illy Cafe in our offices and so on. All these things are like the WeWorks, you know, we were talking about it before. You know, you see it out there and they're doing it. Actually, you can bring it into your office. Doesn't mean it has to be exactly the same, but there's that culture and that feeling. And that's actually driven through this, well, it can be driven through this digital transformation. Take the opportunity when you're transforming your digital side, that you transform your hardware side, your people as it were. You call it the software, but I call it the hardware. Make sure that as a business person, you take that advantage of that. And I think sometimes in that whole discussion, we lose this major point. It's not just about the clients, it's also internally. And it's not just about your policies and processes to try and become more efficient, it's changing the culture. Some clear recommendations, I think this is the last slide. Clarity of purpose, why you're doing it. Establish a pool of knowledge, and that just doesn't mean the software, the IT side, it's right throughout the organisation, what does it mean? Communication and training about the process, but don't get too bogged down on it. Everybody says train and train and train. I think give them one shot and then move forward. You can talk about this subject endlessly, as you would know if you talk to somebody who's in IT. It doesn't stop. It's continuously evolving. But in business, we need it to stop and we need it to move forward. Deal with naysayers. Read the Forbes view of B2B and what it suggests. It basically came up with exactly the same things that I've listed here. In the end, there are those that won't get on the train, and the train needs to move. And you need to deal with that as a manager. What happens, and what has happened in my company, is that when we did that, we took the roadblocks out. It was amazing to see the younger employees bounce up and take these spots. It was quite amazing. They completely changed. And they didn't just change in their work, it was almost that their personalities changed. Their willingness to interact with me changed. To tell me what they really thought had changed. And I was almost taken aback about this, because suddenly they were opening up and saying, we could do this, 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 and this. And I'm thinking, hey, slow down. I've got to bring the whole train with us, But get rid of the names naysayers. And the big one, management buy-in and support. And we always hear about this. We always hear about it. But, we're only 400 odd people. The amount of effort it took me personally, and I didn't actually understand what we were going through. My business partner is really the strategist, the person out here who was driving this, a gentleman called Scott. I saw that it was important. I just drove it, and I really wouldn't take no for an answer. So when people kept on coming up with, no, we can't do this. We're different in Australia was the big one. Any Aussies here? Yeah, a few. They're always different. No, you're not. Actually, this is our system. This is the way we do it. This is coming through, and it's happening tomorrow. And I would say on that management buy-in and support, be very direct. After you've communicated, deal with the naysayers, and actually, you can implement this quite quickly. So we really implemented it, say, in 12 months, and then 6 months of buy-in and driving the value, I think, to our clients, to our customers. We're not quite there, just on that last topic. We need to do some more work on that to actually show the value to our clients a little bit more, but it's there, and we just got to refocus in on it. So I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much.